On this video, we're going to dive into rejection. Not the most salubrious of subjects, but it's one of those things of how do I overcome rejection? How do I overcome rejection at work? How do I overcome rejection in love? How do I overcome rejection of my product or my service? And how do you do that? Hi, I'm Lucy. I am a holistic peak performance coach. And one of the things we need to be able to do is to handle rejection, because rejection is going to come up at least once a week, if not on a daily process, and it's going to keep on happening. And finding different ways to deal with that is going to be really important. So it can be lots of different areas, right? It can be personal stuff and you're feeling rejected by your friends, you're feeling rejected by a group, you're feeling rejected because of your partner, something has happened. Or maybe it's work and you've put a ton of time into something and the idea has been rejected. Even though you've built this fantastic product or presentation or whatever it is, and it's just been brushed aside. How do you overcome that? So we want to be able to reframe it. This is easier said than done, but when you can start to reframe small rejections, it's easier to move on to the larger rejections. So think of something right now where you feel that you've been rejected recently. Was it a friend saying no to going out? Was it somebody at work saying no to something? Was it an idea that you passed at work and went, oh, somebody said, oh, that's a load of rubbish, but that's not going to work. How could you reframe that? How could you make it so that actually that is not affecting you or affects you for the smallest amount of time rather than hours, days, or weeks? Because we allow that to happen. So when you can reframe something, okay, let's say somebody has rejected an idea that I had, which I thought was a fantastic idea, actually. And they've got, no, that's not going to, it's not going to work. And they don't even open up to the possibility of that. And I've done all of this research and I've got all of this paperwork and all of these stats and facts and figures, and they've just brushed it aside. How do you deal with that? Okay, I learned a lot by doing all of that. I have the understanding of that, and maybe I can present it in a different way so that it does get accepted as an idea. Perhaps I can speak about it in a different way, speak to somebody else, show it to a different group, and they'll accept it. Or ask somebody what they feel the pitfalls are in that presentation. So reframing that could be really helpful to help you to present something in a better way another time, or even to present the same thing again, perhaps to somebody else, or just in a different way. So that's one way of reframing. Another way to look at rejection is that it is redirection. So perhaps it is a person and you think that person is rejecting me, they don't like me anymore, and I've just been put on the junk heap. That's one way you could look at it, and you could stay feeling like you're on the junk heap. Not a good place, not a good feeling. So again, it might be quite tricky to do this, but reframing it as it's their stuff, it's their thing that they're dealing with, and that's fine. And if I'm not right for them, how many other people are there in the world? There are so many that I'm never going to meet them all. But I'm going to find somebody that makes me feel good, that I can make feel good. And we've got such a crazy good connection that I'm going to forget about that person. In fact, I'm going to thank that person for rejecting me. I want you to look back in your past and see if that's ever happened to you. Have you been rejected by somebody? Have you got divorced? Have you come out of a very long-term relationship? I know I have, at least two, where I thought this is the right person, and we parted company. And thank goodness we did. At the time, yes, there was rejection. At the time, how did I handle it? I handled them in different ways. The first one was very challenging. The second one was much easier because I decided it was the wrong person because he acted in the same way that the first one did. And I just went, I'm not having that. I'm better than that. I'm not going to get treated in that way. And so, bye bye. So it was, he had done something that I felt was not the right thing. Did I feel rejected? I didn't feel rejected. I just felt very hurt. And so when he came back to me, I was like, no, this is not happening. This is not continuing. End of relationship. Goodbye. And so he then had to deal with that. However, he dealt with it, I don't know. But we can look at those times in our past, right? We can go, oh, yeah, I remember that. And thank goodness I'm not with that person because I've changed so much because look at them now, because look at me now. I had that growth spurt. I was able to open up my mind. I feel so much better about myself because that person went, no, you're not right for me. So you can look back at stuff that's happened, look back at your history and go, okay, that was the storm, and there's always calm after the storm. You know, the sunshine will always come out. So one other thing I want to look at, because there's also rejection and abandonment. So you're feeling abandoned. Maybe that's something that happened when you were very young with your parents, with your family, with, you know, maybe you're in a foster homes and you had this feeling of abandonment. And then perhaps you're in a relationship where the person is with somebody else that is from their past and you're not part of that. And so this jealousy starts to bubble up inside. That's not a choice. The jealousy isn't a choice. The jealousy is the fear of abandonment that you suffered way back when. They have no thought of abandoning you. They just have to do this thing with this other person from their past. But you are feeling jealous because actually you fear that abandonment because it's in your nervous system. You're holding it in your nervous system. So there are therapies you can go to. You can release the stuff. You can do some EFT, which is the tapping side of things. If you've not done that, check that out to help you to get through the feeling of that and to help you come out the other side. But it's not a good feeling, but that's what it is. It's that fear of abandonment. So you can overcome things, but work on the small stuff to be able to get the big stuff sorted. There'll be another video coming up on screen, so I'm going to see you over there. Really work on that reframing rejection, and you'll feel so much better about yourself. Take care. Bye for now.